Hey everyone, and welcome to another wonderful episode of the Cynthia Manion Show. I'm so grateful to be here with you today, and I'm so grateful that you are here with us. Whether you're watching this in a replay or live, please share it out, like us, and if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet to the Cynthia Manion Show, please do. So many wonderful guests, you wouldn't want to miss any of them. And if you haven't crossed paths with my extraordinary guests yet for tonight, be prepared to be inspired. Rob Commodari is a speaker, an author, a realtor, and the host of the Chiseled podcast. I just love that name of his podcast, Chiseled. Building success through service after guiding 2,000 families with homes at the Commodari Group. He's poured more than 24 years into real estate, starting with a crowded Baltimore childhood and stockbroker days, and now delivering motivational talks to Wells Fargo, Sharon Williams, students, and inmates seeking second chances. So really good story about the title of that particular talk. Kicking things off with Og Mardino's inspiration, Rob's amazing bestseller, Better Than You Think. Can you see it? Yeah. And Chiseled podcast interviews on awareness and resilience. Rob's path involves growing through challenges by cherishing family life, most important, with wife Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Since 1996, and 3 wonderful children that I'm not sure who's training who. I think it's a mutual effect team. Rob, it's an honor to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me on the show, Cynthia. This is I'm excited to be here. I've heard a lot about your show. I've watched it a few times, and it's just good to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And hello, Robert. We got 2 Roberts. Rob's the second power this evening. What fun.
Great name.
Yeah, Rob, growing up in a 2-bedroom home with 7 siblings in Baltimore, what early experiences taught you the value of service? And what street did you live on?
First house we lived on, a 2-bedroom house, was along 3309 Longview Avenue in Baltimore, Maryland, 21213.
How close is that to Camden Yards?
It's probably 15 minutes from Camden Yards. It was closer to the original stadium, Memorial Stadium. We used to walk to the stadium from time to time, or and maybe take the bus once in a while. But yeah, it was close.
So your early experiences that taught you value of service growing up in Baltimore.
Yeah, it was service and hard work. I'd say, like my dad, being one of 7 kids, my dad worked 3 jobs. He had to work 3 jobs to make ends meet. My mom was a stay-at-home mom because she had to shepherd or herd 7 kids all the time. So he worked 3 jobs, and it was to watch him work all that time was it was good. It was inspiring for me. But the other thing was, when we turned age 11, we were allowed to start delivering newspapers for the Baltimore Sun, because you couldn't do before 11. So once we hit 11,
Baltimore Sun. I was in the Baltimore Sun a couple times, as a matter of fact, modeling. That was a long time ago. Yeah. And I started babysitting at age 11. I told a little fib and said I was 13.
I told a fib when I just graduated high school. And I ended up being a bouncer at a bar, all 155 pounds of me. And I told them I was 21, and then they found out I was 18, and they fired me.
But look at you showing entrepreneurship early. So at 11, you're delivering newspapers, and not only are you delivering newspapers, you had a whole team working for you, didn't you?
Well, and that was a little later. At first, it was just myself, my 2 brothers, my sister. We all had these paper routes, and that's how, if we wanted something, we had to buy it ourselves. And I used that money from age 11 to whatever. I paid my way through Catholic high school.
Excellent. I'm a Catholic girl too. I went to all parochial schools my entire life.
Yeah, all the way through grade school through high school, and then I went to Florida Atlantic University, played baseball down there.
Yeah, that's exciting. What lesson from the field still guides your life today?
The most important one for me was just playing a game of catch with my dad.
And yes, that's a good story. Tell that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can be long-winded with it. Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. It's a good story.
Yeah, so Cal, if everybody's familiar with Cal Ripken, he's the Iron Man in baseball, played, so many straight games. And his father passed away, I think it was in June of 20 or 21. And all over the radio, the sports talk shows, they were talking about the relationship that Cal and his dad had. And, his dad was a baseball coach. Cal was a player. Now, I was the only baseball guy in my family. Everybody else was soccer. And at 34 years old, I'd never played a game of catch with my dad. So I'm hearing all this stuff, all these talk shows talking about the relationship. I said, you know what? I got to go. I'm going to find that first baseball glove my dad ever gave me as a hand-me-down when I was 5 years old. And I'm going to find that. I'm going to give it to him for Christmas. And I'm going to ask him for a game of catch. It would be my first game of catch. And that was in June. Cynthia Manion, it was 5 months. I'm looking for this glove. And I'm thinking, this is a great idea. And I can't find this glove anywhere. And I'm like, God, why won't you let me find this glove? It's such an awesome idea. And it was 5 days before Christmas, and Christmas Eve, we'd go to one of the family members' houses and celebrate as a family, and do our exchanges that way. But anyway, so it's 5 days before Christmas. My dad asked me to come over to the house to help him out with something. He had just had a hernia surgery. So I'm sitting there with my mom and my dad. We're sitting at the table. My dad says, "Hey, before you leave, I need you to go to the basement and I had to get something out of this box in the basement. It's too heavy for him to lift up." So it was a typical, I don't know if you're familiar with this, Cynthia, but some of these old row homes that had the stairs that go down the basement and the closet was in the side.
And they're really steep too.
Yeah, exactly. So I go down the basement and not thinking anything at all about the glove. I open up the door and this box is as wide as the doorway. So I got to act like a forklift, So I go like this. I stoop down. I put my hands in the side of the boxes, stand up, back up. I turn around and I look down and the glove was under the box. Who knows how many years this glove is under the box, and I find it 5 days before Christmas. So anyway, I'm getting a little emotional. I'm like, Dad, I got to get out of here. Can I take the glove with me? He says, sure, it's yours. I said, no, we lived in a house of hand-me-downs, and I had my sister's name written, and I given it to her. And he goes, take the glove, it's yours. So I go home, and Cynthia, within minutes, the inspiration from the Holy Spirit was there. The tears are flowing from my cheeks, and I write this poem to my dad. And then I put the glove in the box, the poem on top of it, put a ball in the glove, and I wrap it up. And then 5 days later, we go to my brother's house to celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. So now it's time to exchange gifts. My dad's sitting at the table by himself. My wife's next to me. I'm like, I can't do this. You got to do it. She goes, this is your idea. You got to do it. My dad opens up the box, and within seconds, he's got tears coming down his cheeks. And he looks at me and goes, we'll play when the weather gets better. I'm like, Dad, it's been 34 years. I've never played a game of catch with you. You got your glove. I got my glove. I'm coming over 10:30 tomorrow morning, and Mom's taking a picture of us. So sure enough, we played catch Christmas Day. But here's the point in all of it. I'm a guy that goes, I'm running 90 miles an hour all the time.
And you are right now too. Take a breath.
That's my energy.
What did you learn in swimming? Let's float with the podcast.
There you go.
I want our audience to keep up with us.
So anyway, I'm a guy that's going 90 miles an hour all the time, and I'm not going anywhere. What's that?
I said, yes, you are.
And I'm not going anywhere. So I got because my other foot's on the brake, and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm spinning my wheels. And so I share this poem and this story with this guy by the name of Brian Buffini. He was, he's a real estate, he heads and leads, owns a real estate coaching company, and share the story with him. And then we got to talking, and I never heard my dad say the words, I love you or I accept you. 34 years old, never heard that. Never played a game of catch. So here's the metaphor. When I'm playing a game of catch with my dad, I'm throwing him the ball. And what's he doing? He's catching it, yeah, but metaphorically, he's accepting it. And he's saying, I accept you, son. And then when he throws the ball back to me, metaphorically, he's saying, I love you, son. And when I put that together with the help of this gentleman by the name of Brian Buffini, when I put that together, I was able to take the one foot that was on the brake, take that off, and that just move forward at a slower pace, as Cynthia would ask me to do, at a slower pace, and live the life I'm supposed to live. Because the idea of
hi, Charla.
Hey, Charla. The whole idea is like, what's holding you back? What's holding you back from being who you're supposed to be? What's holding you back from achieving what you want to achieve? And if it was just the fact that I didn't know I was loved or accepted, or I didn't feel I was loved or accepted, and now I know that, now I'm free to move forward. And that's the lesson from playing catch with my dad.
And so while we say hello to Charlotte and pull up the book, on page 19 is your poem. So maybe you can pull it up if you don't have it memorized and you could read it to our audience.
I certainly can. I got it right here. Give me a second.
Meanwhile, Rob and I met in person September 3 of this year, 2025, when we were on the cover of the Network Effect book, which we all wrote chapters in, and Charlotte Frost wrote a chapter in it too. And Eric is going to put it up in case you haven't picked up your copy yet, ladies and gentlemen, on Amazon. Here is the Network Effect. This was put on with Ken Walls and Glenn Morshower, and all of us, there's people in the back too that wrote chapters, all went down to Dallas, Texas on September 3rd, 2025. And we all got interviewed and did a little talk, and there was this really grand opening of the book, and everyone go get it. And meanwhile, guess what September 3rd was? It was Rob's birthday. Yes, it was. So everyone got together. We got a cake. Jill Walls was fabulous and had it all prepared. And we were all singing happy birthday. Look at this. There you are, Rob, with your birthday cake.
You're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, because it was so fun. And I think there's another one with people there. Is there another picture there? There is Patricia, another fabulous. She wrote a chapter in the book. And she is just back from Europe, where she was doing amazing things, and her documentary is coming out soon. And she got to, that's the stage behind where we all talked. And she got to spend a few minutes with Rob, and Rob was busy signing his books. So this is his other book. And in mine, he wrote Cynthia, to living a life of joy and fulfillment. Look at that.
There you go.
I just love all my books better when they're autographed by the author in person. So, fun fact there, yeah.
Yeah. You want me to read this poem?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
that's okay. The next thing. I was giving you time to find it and just.
No, thank you. And I'll just add, like, I didn't edit this at all. That's just the way it came. It flowed, and by the grace of God, right?
Through love.
Yeah. So I titled the poem "Some Catch."
Yeah, you're good with your titles. I like some of your titles that you use, especially the one that, well, we'll get back to that. Go ahead. Some Catch.
Hey,
yes,
Dad.
You are.
Okay. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad, it's Christmas time again, and families all around the world are getting ready to share their Christmas joys. As usual, moms and dads get a list together from their little girls and boys. Some lists include such things as cars and trucks, while others include things like Barbie dolls and makeup. Boys will ask for video games and sports things, while girls may ask for dresses, clothes, and angels with little wings. You've been a dad now for 36 plus years and worked for 45 years as well. You've had the opportunity to raise 7 children, which is priceless, but I'm sure it caused all kinds of hell. I could not imagine how hard it must have been with all that weight upon your shoulders, but now I think I'm beginning to understand now that I'm much older. Dad, we're all older now, and most of us have moved away. Now it's time for you to have some fun because we all know you've earned your pay. If I could ask for one thing for Christmas, Dad, it would be no, not a house, not a car, not even a watch. All I want, Dad, is just to play some catch from the heart. Rob. It's hard not to get a little emotional with that.
Yeah, I even highlighted that part. It spoke to me. I was like, ah.
And thank you.
No, thank you.
Brings back a lot of awesome memories.
Yes. And what a wonderful way to get that bond going again. And just because he didn't have any time. He was so busy working 3 jobs, and they were all demanding physical jobs too.
Oh, yeah.
But you had a lot of fun with him, especially when he was doing the stuff at the stadiums. So you could go to every baseball game.
Football.
Oh, football. Yeah. Tell our audience about that.
Yeah. So one of his jobs was he was an usher for the Baltimore Colts way back when. We all know the Colts left in 1984. But so he was an usher in center field, in the end zone in center field, and he'd have to be there at like 10 o'clock for the game. So I mean, we didn't have anything. We would get these. My dad would buy these little packets of lunch meat, and there was 10 really thin slices in each packet. And we had the budget. So each one of us was only allowed 2 pieces of meat on our sandwiches at the time. So it was more bread than meat, if you could imagine. So, but I would sit there in center field and I'd eat my 2 pieces of thin meat on 2 thick pieces of bread sandwich and an apple and get ready to watch the Baltimore Colts play football.
And never been happier.
I was in heaven. I was at in 1977, I think it was, the Colts played the Raiders in the playoffs, and my Christmas present was a ticket to that game.
Lovely.
That's all I needed. Yeah.
Fabulous. And so you're watching football, you're watching Orioles baseball, and you're playing baseball yourself at Florida Atlantic University. And you had a lot of lessons during your time there. So you got a partial scholarship to Florida Atlantic University. So what's the lesson from the field? I think there's quite a few over those years that still guides your life today.
Yeah, the lesson is just keep showing up. Keep showing up, do the fun play, work the fundamentals, take the ground balls, do the batting practice, work on all, any technique. It's showing up. You show up on the baseball field every day. You show up for practice every day, and you show up with a sense of joy and appreciation. You take that same mentality through life, through work, through life with your family. How can you go wrong?
And you got injured during these times too.
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, it was interesting because, look, my goal, I wanted to play professional baseball, and I always told people there was 2 fundamental problems. My mom was 5'2" and my dad was 5'3", and I know there's small guys in baseball today, but back then that was it, and so I worked hard, man. I worked hard to get out there, and I got a scholarship, a partial scholarship to play ball. And I'm playing. We're playing. I forget what team we were. I think we were playing Purdue. We were playing Purdue University, and I went to the guy was on second base, and I loved one of the things I had the more thrills than anything was running down fly balls and throwing people out. And I remember a guy hit a ball at center field. Guy was on second base. I'm like, I'm going to throw this guy out at the plate. And I took it's called a crow hop, where you take your step to throw the ball. I put my foot down and my toe snapped. And it was that was my senior year. That was the second time, as a matter of fact. And I'm like, wow, this dream's over. It's gone. Not that I was on pace to get there, but it was officially over. And but I got hurt my first year there, and my third year, or my last year there. And what was really valuable to me was I sat next to the head coach every game while I was injured. I picked his brain. We talked about baseball. We talked about strategy. We talked about life. And as much as I wanted to play professional baseball, and as much as I never thought about learning what I learned, that was probably the most valuable piece I got from the baseball field, was sitting next to that coach day in and day out as the games were played.
So the universe took good care of you. So you did your right foot in freshman. You sat with the coach all of sophomore year. Then you did your left foot your senior year. Is that what happened?
Well, I not exactly. I mean, so I played community college ball here in Baltimore. So when I went down there, it was my junior year, which was my first year there, and that's when I got hurt the first time. Then I got a medical hardship, so I got a whole extra year out of it.
Oh, nice.
So my junior year was a wash. Then I had an official junior year, and then my senior year, which was my third year in Florida, I did it. I got hurt again. So.
And so that's when you sat next to the coach and got all those pearls of wisdom.
Oh yeah, it was invaluable.
Yeah, fabulous, fabulous. And you must be very proud because your son also got injured in his sport, which was basketball at the time, Rob. And you came home in the garage and you were so proud of him because he was just working through it. Tell that story. That's the big Rob and little Rob. So carrying on the family tradition.
Yes. So this comes from the book, The Slight Edge. My son, he was playing basketball. He's only in the 5th or 6th grade, whatever it was. I think it was 5th grade. He's playing basketball. It wasn't a great player by any stretch of the imagination, but he's playing basketball, and he tears or breaks his growth plate in his foot. And so for the next 4 to 6 weeks, he's not playing. And I said to him, what can you do that's not going to affect your foot in these next 3, 4, 5 weeks? I said, you can take foul shots and you can practice dribbling. So the slight edge talks about 0.003%. So if you work on something, for 0.003% of your day, which actually adds up to 4.2 minutes. So let's just call it 5 minutes. If you work on a skill 5 minutes a day, every day for 365 days, you will be over 100% better on day 365 than you were on day one. So I said to him, I said, Robbie, I want you to dribble the basketball for 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes a day. So I come home from work one day, the garage door goes up, and I just see this ball going back and forth, and his hands going like this, right? And the garage door's raising, and he's got a tie. He blindfolded himself with a tie, and he's just dribbling back and forth, behind his back and all that stuff. And I'm like, holy cow! I had tears in my eyes. Like, that's awesome. And then he comes back to playing, and he's the best ball handler on the court. Because he practiced for 5 minutes a day.
You're in that audience. What are you wanting to do 5 minutes a day? Hi, Kevin. Kevin always spends 5 minutes a day sending me a text or a happy Friday, as a matter of fact. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate your support so much. It's just so wonderful that you had that relationship with your dad and read us that beautiful poem, and then your son gifted you with listening and making himself better so that he was able to play and be a star player that year.
Yeah, I mean, he did well. He did well, but he was the point guard, and he earned that. He earned that.
So let's go back to discovering Og Mandino's the greatest salesman in the world, right?
Yes.
As a stockbroker, how did that book ignite your passion for speaking and writing?
So I was a stockbroker. I was a penny stockbroker, if you will.
And I said everything. We're bouncing around his life, but
that's okay. Yeah. So I graduated after baseball, graduated from college, and I get my Series 7. So I'm a stockbroker. And remember, we came from nothing, and I'm like, I want to make money, and I want to take care of my parents, and I want to live well because I never had anything. And so I get my license, and I'm in Boca Raton, Florida for school. So I could take this job in North Palm Beach. And oh, by the way, I had a 1978 LTD2
that you bought,
vinyl seats, hand crank windows, and an 8-track player.
Nice.
and
what were you listening to? What were you listening to?
AC/DC. It was the only 8-track I had.
And who else?
That was the only one I had. AC/DC.
Oh, in the car. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there he was, Mr. Hotshot.
But we're in South Florida, so I'm sweating, right? So I would wear shorts.
Dan Ottmeyer, another one of our.
Hey, Dan, how you doing, bud?
I
was driving 40 minutes each way, so I'd wear shorts to work and take my suit and shirt and tie and all that with me. And I'd be the first one there, and I'd be the last one to leave. And I came in one morning, and this gentleman by the name of Valentino Fernandez, and I will never forget him. He sat in the cubicle right next to me. He was off the boat from Cuba a year earlier.
Reading this book.
Yeah, he had read the book. And so I come in one morning, I'm the first one there, and he's got this book sitting on his desk. He came in, I said, I've never sold anything before. It's the first job I've ever had selling it. I said, can I take that book home and read it? I took that book home that night, read it in one sitting, and it changed the trajectory of my life.
It's the greatest salesman in the world if you're just joining us.
The greatest salesman in the world. And Cynthia, I still have that same exact book that I bought in 1990. I have it sitting on my shelf, and I treasure that book. And so I read that one, and he's 10 rules or scrolls to live by. And then his second book was the greatest salesman in the world, part 2. And in that book is what really triggered my thought of wanting to speak and give and all that. And he talks about, he amassed a fortune. He talked about giving it away. Mm-hmm. And his mentor, the guy worked for him, was like, you're giving it all away. Won't you tell the world how you did this? He said, and his goal was to become a great orator. And I'm like, wow, this is in 1990. And I'm like, I would love to do that. And I hated English speaking and the whole thing. I hated it all. Writing, didn't like any of it. but I got inspired and I read those 2 books, and I've read like 1,300 books since then.
Excellent. Excellent. Yep. Reading's the way, guys. Read with a highlighter
Oh,
and a
yeah.
pen and take notes.
There you go.
And here's the first book you can read. That and The Network Effect, where you can get all these great authors, a chapter from each.
Yeah.
Are amazing. And you wrote down goals in 1992, but hit them starting in 2001 with your first speech to 650 people. What kept you going during those years?
Well, like I said, I was reading every single day because I transitioned into this newspaper business where I had an agency. Then I had 16 people working for me, and this is in 1994. I think that happened, and so we had to go get our papers at a warehouse. So I'd be up at 1:30 every morning to get our newspapers, and I wanted to be the first one there to get off to the area and get them out, because if you didn't get them out at a certain time, you would lose money. So I'd get there early and I would read and I would read and I would read and I'd read. I'd read every single day. And it just became a habit to read. And like I said, I've read 1,300 books, and I'm going to go. I lost my train of thought. What was the original question? We're live.
Oh, you wrote down your goals in 1992, and then you actually started them in 2001 when you gave your first speech to 650 people.
So from that, I'm like, okay, I want to speak. I want to write a book one day. I sit down with this guy he's a coach, a life coach. He goes, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to speak." And he goes, "A lot of people say that, but they don't really mean it." And I'm like, "I'm telling you, I want to speak." And what happens I'm telling you, it was about 3 weeks later, I get a phone call from the principal of my high school. And he says, "Rob, Jerry," who's the guy who I was talking to and said I want to speak, Jerry was supposed to speak for us, and he double booked, and he's got to go to Kansas City, and he referred you.
Woohoo! Nice.
And I'm like, "Barry, that's great. I'd love to do it." Him not knowing I've never spoken in front of people before. So
say yes. You just say yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Just say yes and jump in.
Yes, I said, "Barry, I'd love to do it." I said, "Just tell me a little bit about this thing." I said, "How many people are going to be there?" He goes, 650 people. I'm like, not a problem.
Excellent.
This is great. So we agreed to do it. And fast forward to the night of the event, I take my wife with me. We got the little camcorder, the video cassette thing you put in there, and you tape everything, your video everything.
Yeah.
So my wife's in the first row, but before that happened, we have dinner with the faculty and the staff. And we're sitting in the conference room eating dinner, and the president of the school says, "Hey, Rob, do you want to go over to the auditorium and check out the lighting system, the sound system, the stage?" And I'm like, "Let's do that." We go over there, me, my wife, and the president, and we're walking around. And he looks at me and he says, "So, Rob, is this potentially the largest crowd you've ever spoken in front of?" I looked at my wife, I looked at him, and I said, "Barry," I said, "this is the only crowd I've ever spoken in front of." And
very brave of you. Excellent.
And his eyes popped out of his head, right?
I got a heart attack.
I said, "Barry, don't you worry about it." I said, "I've been reading this stuff and studying stuff for 10 years at that point." I said, "We got this." And so I did an 11-minute speech from the Prayer Jabez. I got the book over there somewhere. But there's just regarding the Prayer Jabez. Anyway, typically keynote speeches are 30, 45 minutes. I did 11-minute speech that first night. What happened, Cynthia, was my wife videoed that, and I mailed it. I mailed it to my mentor in the real estate coaching business. His name's Brian Buffini. I mailed it to him. I said, "Please play this and give me any constructive criticism you can. I want to grow. I want to learn. What can I do better?" So I meet him in person months later. He's doing an event. I go talk to him. I said, "Did you get my video?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Do you have any feedback?" He said 2 words. He said, "Join Toastmasters."
I wore my Toastmasters pin for you today.
Right. Now I can take that one of 2 ways. One,
Just
I
a
got a
real
shot.
story.
I got a shot at this thing. Or two, you're that bad, you need help.
I take both.
Right. So I joined Toastmasters, and I was a Toastmaster for, like I told you beforehand, like 20 years. What a great anybody who's in business, entrepreneurial, salesperson should take Toastmasters or what's the other Dale Carnegie course,
Or both. Heck.
right? Or both, exactly. And I was so hungry to do it, but I was so intimidated. I was scared, nervous. And I remember, like, because I've been reading this stuff for so many years already, all this personal growth and development stuff. And what happened was they asked me to be a speaker for international speaking contest, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I do it. So I get up there. I don't know how many, 10 of us, whatever it was, and I didn't play.
Excuse me, Dan Altmaier says Toastmaster is enlightening. Toastmasters is enlightening.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And so now you're an international Toastmaster speaker for contest,
Yeah.
which are heavy duty. They have big rules. They follow all the Murphy rules, the Murphy laws.
All that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, they are like to the book, to the minute, to the second. It's nerve-wracking.
Oh, it is. It is, because you have, the yellow light the yellow light, green light, yellow light, red light. And, if you go past 30 seconds past the red light, they disqualify it. Right. But they asked me to do it. I did. And I just gave a bunch of content. It was just content. And I got off that stage that day. And one of the judges says, look, you have a lot of potential to be a really good speaker. But the key to you being a successful speaker is telling stories. You got to tell stories. And from that day forward, I'm like, I'm going to be a storyteller. And I'm a work in progress, but I love telling stories, as you might gather from this conversation.
And you have a great story about planning your speech for going to the prison. Tell that story and the title. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe you came up with that title for that, but it was perfect. And the way, tell.
I'm in Toastmasters, and we were at a memorial service for one of our members, and this lady comes up to me. She says, hey, I had a group of Toastmasters in prison called the New Genesis Club, the New Beginning Club. And this is for prisoners who are going to get out of prison within 1 month to 4 years. So they're in this pre-release facility at Jessup, Maryland. You know the name, right? You're from Maryland. So anyway, so it's pretty hardcore prison. And they were having it.
Tell them about the barbed wire and stuff when you're going.
I'm getting there.
Okay, good.
So she asked me to they were having a evaluation contest. So you need one speaker and 10 guys who are going to evaluate the speaker. She goes, can you be our speaker that the guys are going to evaluate? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in, right? And I didn't think twice about it. Now, it was like 5 minutes after I said yes, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I'm going in prison to give a speech. And I start getting nervous. I'm like, this is crazy. I've never been in prison before, not as a guest, not as an inmate. Right?
Glad to hear it.
Right. And so I thought about, okay, I got to give a 7.5 minute maximum speech, 7.5 minutes. And I don't want to just give a speech and get evaluated. I want to give these guys a message of hope. I'm at another Toastmasters meeting one night. I got a napkin in front of me and I got a pen in my hand. And I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. All I was thinking is, what can I talk about? And I kid you not, as the pen is sitting in my hand, I just wrote the word jailbreak on a napkin.
Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, going into a prison and naming your speech?
Just think about it. I'm going to if I can backtrack a little bit. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's ballsy.
What's that?
It's ballsy.
Yeah, it is. And at that time, like I said, I was 5'8", 170 pounds. I don't know. Anyway, in 2003, I met this guy, and we just had a conversation. He said to me, Rob, you will go to the next level in your life and the next level in your business when you start trusting that voice inside of you. Mm-hmm. Now, you might ask the question, what's the voice? To me, it's God, the Holy Spirit, right? So that was in 2003. So now, like, this Toastmasters thing comes up, and I write, and when you get this inspiration from somewhere and you believe it's a great idea, I believe it's coming from God. But how often do we get a great idea and we're inspired and we're like, no way, I can't do that. There's no way. There's no way. That's crazy, right? So I write the word jailbreak down and I'm fired up. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm going into prison and I'm titling the speech Jailbreak. I'm going to inspire these guys. And then within minutes after doing that, I'm like, I can't go into prison and title a speech Jailbreak. I can't do that. I'll say the word jailbreak and the guards are going to be cocking their guns, right? Ooh. But I remember what that guy said to me. You'll go to the next level in your business and your life when you start trusting that voice inside of you. And Cynthia, in that moment, I'm like, jailbreak it is. Jailbreak it is. So it was a Saturday morning in December and it was cold. And I pull up to the prison and it's, 20-foot of fence, razor wire at the top, the middle, and the bottom. And it's intimidating. And you're walking through all these fences and your guards are checking you. And I walk into this room and it's 20 inmates in a room. And I'm like, it's game time. It's game time. And the president of the club is an inmate and he has to introduce me. And the way they introduce you in Toastmasters is, the speaker tonight is so-and-so and the title of the speech is so-and-so. And they say it twice. So right before I do, this is the first time I did this and I do it every time now. Before any speech, I just say a little prayer. And like, God, let the words come out the way they need to be spoken and let them be heard the way they need to be heard. And if this doesn't work out, it is your fault, not mine. Right. So it's our little, it's like me and God's, it's our little thing, you were like, you had your eyes closed there. You're like,
I'd be praying, baby. I'd be praying for you. You're in prison with the prison. Oh, well, yeah. You're breaking out of prison and you're going to present this to 20 guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I say this prayer, right? And I turn around and the guy goes, our speaker today is Rob Commodari. The title of his speech is Jailbreak. Rob Commodari, Jailbreak. And I'm like, holy smokes, here we go. And Cynthia, I kid you not, this is how I started out. I'm like, I look at all 20 inmates and look at them in the eyes. I'm like, hey, I'm planning a jailbreak. Are you in or are you out? It's a simple question. I just need a simple answer. And I didn't say anything for like 15, 20 seconds. Ooh. And I'm like, I'm not talking about climbing the fence and running for freedom. I'm not talking about breaking down the walls and running for freedom. I'm talking about breaking down the walls that you and I and everybody in this room has inside of their own head, the walls of fear, hate, jealousy, anger. We're going to break those walls down. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you in or are you out? And man, 20 guys jump up the old Arsenio Hall thing. I'm like, we got him, God. We got him. So anyway, it was awesome. I did a whole bunch of Shawshank Redemption analogies. And at the end of the speech, I asked 20 guys, 20 so-called thugs, because you have that stereotype, right? Close your eyes and stay with me for a minute. Just stay with me for this last minute. And I said, think about it. You go to bed tonight knowing tomorrow's you're getting out. And this is your last night. You go into that cell, the door shuts, boom. I'm never going to hear that noise again. You get up next morning, the guard's walking you down the hallway. You hear click, clack, click, clack. The echo of the guard's shoes. And you're saying, I'm never going to hear that noise again. Now you're approaching the exit of the prison. You're 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 feet from the exit of the prison. And as you take that final step, you look up and you got to ask yourself one final question, guys. Am I going to get busy living? Am I going to get busy dying? And I shut up. I shut up for, 10 seconds. And these guys are looking around and they jumped up and started, hooting and hollering. It was awesome. Gets a little better. If I can finish up here with this, can I keep going?
Time. Yes, please. It's a good one.
So now it's time to do the evaluation. So 10 guys go into this other room to get their notes together. And I'm in the room with the other 10 guys. Next thing you know, this guy comes in from the courtyard. He's got a bloody lip, lockdown. There's a good old fashioned lockdown in the prison. I'm like, holy smokes, this is real. And for 45 minutes, I'm in the room talking to 10 guys, me and 10 guys. They're in jail. And I'm like, this is great. I start asking everybody, what's your story? What's your story? And they were telling me their stories. I'm like, this is amazing. It's heartbreaking, but it's amazing because you or I, we make one mistake. We go have 4 drinks tonight. We go drive our car and hit somebody and kill them. We're going to prison, right?
Right.
And so they're giving me their story. So the lockdown ends, the 10 guys come back in. The first guy stands behind the podium, and I'm sitting on the side. He's looking at me saying, Mr. Rob, this, that, and the other thing, you did this well. I'm like, great. The head Toastmaster goes, guys, when you're talking, talk to the audience. Don't look at Rob. I'm like, I'll fix this. I got up and I sat right in the middle of the other 19 guys. I'm right in the middle. So
That's a good idea. Smart. Another whisper.
Oh, yeah, right. So one by one, they give their evaluations. The last guy gets up. He looks at me. He's nervous, you can see. He says, Mr. Rob, thank you so much for being here today. You've inspired us and you made our day. But please don't get mad at me for what I'm about to tell you. What are you going to say? Mr. Rob, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought you were one of us.
Sweet.
So they're all looking. I mean, he's got a tear running down his cheek, and they're all looking at me like, how am I going to react? I'm like, you just gave me the best compliment you could have ever given me. Yeah. I came down here to inspire and impact you, and by your response right there, we accomplished our goal. And that was just an awesome experience. I'll never forget it. Never forget getting in my car, looking at my rear mirror, and looking at the razor wire. And I'm like, man, the spirit was there. The spirit was there tonight. So it was awesome. Thank you for letting me share that.
So listen to those little whispers, whatever you call it, spirit, God, they are full of wisdom.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
They never, ever lead you wrong. It's the same thing as that, that when you get that feeling in your gut, you get that little feeling. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pearls are there.
Recognize that, right?
Right, exactly. So from speaking to prisons to Wells Fargo executives to Sherwin-Williams teams, how do you know how to tailor your message for each of these different groups? Because from inmates to Wells Fargo, I mean, it's a different audience.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened was I got into the real estate, business, and I'm learning how to do my business by referral. And there's certain techniques and strategies and tactics that you use. And when I spoke to Sherwin-Williams, I spoke to mainly, I remember the first time it was like 80 lenders that I was speaking to, and I was sharing them how to do the business by referral, because I was having some success in the way I was doing it. So somebody asked me to speak for them. And then I had a friend who was a vice president of Sherwin-Williams in the area at the time. And I said, look, I'm looking to get paid gigs. Can you get me at your conference to speak to the group? And he's like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can get you paid. He goes, I'll do what I can. And I said, just get me $1, pay me $1 in the form of a check. And then I can say I got a paid for gig. Right. And so he was able to get me down. We were in Dallas, Texas. And it was like 750, something like that, 800 people. And I got up on stage and like, it was just awesome, because like, I really feel that I'm supposed to be doing this. And I just get this energy it's not about a showman thing. It's not about me thing. It's just this energy that I want to share. As you had to slow me down earlier, I got so much energy that I want to share it. And if I got some knowledge and stuff that I can pass on to somebody, I'm supposed to do that. We're supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened there.
Fabulous. I had like 3 questions in that period. But what I know what I want to interrupt myself with. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rob has an amazing work ethic. So in your real estate business, so you get up, tell them what you do. Tell them how you developed I know you go on and off of, but tell them how you structure your morning and how many notes you've set out and that little piece, because I think that was something people need to hear. It doesn't just happen, ladies and gentlemen. You have to work, and you have to work hard. And his little process, and this is before you had your computers and your CRM systems and all the good ways to track all your sales and your leads and your potential leads and the family and who's who.
Absolutely.
And how you make a whole little thing now. But he was doing this manually back in the day.
Yeah. So I've been in real estate I'm in my 25th year now. And as I mentioned earlier, I get coached. And one of the things we were coached to do is it's very simple. It's easy to do, easier not to do. It's make calls, write notes, and stop by and see people. Make calls,
simple, right, notes, ladies and gentlemen?
And stop by and see people. That's it, right? So it's a 3-legged stool. But if you want to get back to the whole work ethic thing, I mean, I get up every morning. My whole routine is get up. First thing I do is read scripture. Then I read the meaning of what I read. And then I have a gratitude journal. I have a regular journal, I'm writing them. Then I contemplate or meditate for 15 to 20 minutes. Right. That's that first routine there, the spiritual part of it. Come over, sit in front of my laptop, and I write 8 notes. I write 8 notes every morning. Some mornings I might write 20, I might write 12 today and 4 tomorrow, but there's 40 notes a week. I write those notes. I look at my calendar, plan the day, head down to the basement, work out, get my breakfast, and I'm out the door. And then today I go out the door. I actually go to mass 3 to 4 times a week during the week, Monday through Friday. I go to church. I go to 7:30 mass, 7:30, 8 o'clock, go to mass. And then my day's one. My day's one right there. It's one. And then the rest is just doing other appointments, making calls, so on and so forth. But that's the way we do it.
And you have a philosophy. We're here to love, care, and serve. And this drives your real estate team. So how do you instill that in agents? Are they doing your morning routine as well, or pieces of it?
I doubt it. I don't know for sure, but I doubt it. I have right now. My team consists of 4 of us: me, 1 agent, and two admin. Candidly, they don't. I'm sure they don't, and that's okay. But it's to love, care, and serve. And that's our mission statement. We're going to love you up. We're going to care for you at the highest level and serve you to the nth degree to put you in the best position to buy or sell a house. To love, care, and serve. And that's a business mission, but it's a life philosophy. Think about that. Mm-hmm. Love you up, care for you, and serve you.
Works for every business, actually, ladies and gentlemen.
It will.
You emphasize 4 traits for a fulfilled life. Can you share one and how readers develop it?
The first is the awareness piece, because I believe people talk about gratitude being the foundation of everything. And I agree with that for the most part. Mm-hmm. But how can I be grateful for something if I'm not aware of what I'm grateful for? So I think it's important to develop awareness as a very foundational piece of our lives, and aware of who you are, aware of why you are who you are, aware of who others are. I have this little equation, you want to become aware of somebody. I'm aware of you. Then I have to understand you, right? Understand why you are who you are. Then I can choose to accept you or not accept you. And if I choose not to accept you, that means I've accepted the fact that I'm not accepting you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And then I put that on myself first. I'm going to backtrack. So aware of who I am, understand who I am, accept myself. And then ultimately that allows me to love myself. And then if I flip that on the other person, become aware of you, understand you, accept you, now I love you. And if that exchange is going back and forth where we love each other for who we are and where we are on this journey in life, there is no judgment. You throw judgment out the door, because love and judgment can't exist on the same plane. They can't. If I'm judging you, I don't love you. Right? So if I'm loving you for who you are, there's no judgment. So so the awareness, you have to be aware of it, and you got to work on that. Meditation, prayer. I call it, the Catholic form is called contemplative prayer. And it's about getting quiet. I try to do it 20 minutes a day, and I don't always get there. But 10 to 20 minutes every day, just get quiet. Just get quiet. And get to a point where you hear nothing. That's a powerful place to be. And then when you do that, when you get to that spot, you're allowing whatever God's got planned for you, you're allowing yourself to receive that information. And the fruits or the results don't come right away. They don't. It's like taking those ground balls in practice, like taking those foul shots every day. You got to show up every day. And all of a sudden, something will hit you in the head. You're like, oh my God, I've heard that song a million times, and now I understand what it means. Or you've said that prayer 10,000 times, and like, now I know what I'm saying. it's just things just start happening. And I'm convinced, and nobody could steer me any other way, that it's coming from the Holy Spirit, and being able to open your mind up to allow that in. So that's the awareness piece.
Just think of that big, huge rock that Michelangelo carved David out of. And as you might have heard this story, someone said, how did you carve David out of actually a piece of marble that everyone else had rejected over the years? And he said, I didn't carve David. I just chiseled away what wasn't David. And you picked the most amazing name for your podcast, Chiseled. Hey, Tim. So this podcast, Chiseled, guests like to share resilient stories. What's a common thread in their journeys?
The common thread in everybody's journey and everybody's stories is that we're all still a work in progress. Every single one of us is a work in progress. And I had no intentions of doing a podcast. And I had given 2 speeches back in March of 21. And in the middle of each one of those speeches, it was a Zoom call. And I just said the words, I'm a work in progress, everybody. I'm not the end all, do all, say all. I'm just a work in progress. And then that was on a Thursday and Friday. And then on a Saturday morning, I was listening to Matthew Kelly. You might know. He's a Catholic speaker, writer. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he had this thing called the Best Lent Ever, and he had somebody speaking for him. And she's talking, and she goes, wait a minute, everybody. Just want you to know, I'm a work in progress. So it's 3 days in a row I said it or heard it. So right after that, I go sit I call it my prayer chair over here.
Oh,
and
nice.
I get quiet. I'm meditating, and all of a sudden I start getting this energy starts building up inside of me, and I feel my heart's pumping. I hear, you're a work in progress. You're a work in progress. You're a work in progress. Then I get this tingling feeling up my legs and my gut. And Cynthia, I see a vision of a half chiseled statue of David. And I open my eyes up and I'm like, God, if I'm hearing you right, you want me to do a podcast, you want me to call it Chiseled, because we're all work in progress. And my commitment was, you keep bringing me the people, I will do this podcast as long as you keep bringing me people. And here we are 4.5 years later, and it's just awesome. It's just stories of resiliency, of comebacks, of breakthroughs, forgiveness, achievements, but all with the idea that it's God working behind all of it.
So hosting Chiseled, it's a bi-weekly on platforms like Spotify and iTunes and YouTube. So you don't choose the guests, they come to you? Or how do you get your guests, and who inspires works in progress?
Well, I mean, I had to start asking people, but it's the idea, who can I ask next? Who can I ask next? And these names just start coming to you. And let's face it, it's a little, early on, and sometimes you don't think you're worthy enough to ask a certain person to be on your podcast. So you start asking people, and then you ask the next one and the next one, and it gives you confidence in asking whomever. And the idea was just to tell the average person's story. Just tell them their story, tell their story, share it, be a conduit to share people's stories. And of course, to get more traction, it's good to have some bigger names. I think you would agree with that, right? Mm-hmm. So I every now and then I'm like, who could I ask that would be a name, right? And I remember one time I just went on a whim. I had seen this guy speak 2 times. I read his book, and I just went on a social platform and messaged this guy, and I said, hey, I've read your books. They've inspired me. I saw you speak. Would you like to be on my podcast? And it was Bob Bodine. And we had these conversations. Next thing I know, he's like, let's do it tomorrow. And I'm like, really? And so sure enough, he did the podcast. So I've had some really cool guests. I mean, and the average person is just as cool as the biggest name person. It's just the messages are what's important. And I think what I've learned from it, as much as I feel that I'm
look at Tim.
I was asked for.
I asked former President Clinton to be on my podcast. I remember feeling that confident in my guests.
There you go.
Way to go.
I haven't asked Trump yet.
We can't wait for that.
Well, right. It could happen. But the idea is this, Cynthia, is like I thought I was a conduit at first. And I remember I was 2 years ago. I was talking to this guy. I'm in the middle of the podcast. And I'm like, holy smokes. I said, this is just about being a conduit. I'm getting chiseled. God's chiseling me.
Beautiful.
As we're chiseling others. And it's just been a great ride, man. It's been an awesome ride. And I'm so excited because I don't know where it's going. I just know people keep showing up.
Yeah. So you inspire people to laugh and cry and think for a good life. What's the personal story that does all three for you, Rob?
Oh, think, laugh, and cry.
Yeah.
I'll say because I think that way because Jim Valvano, if you know that name, he coached NC State to national championship against the Houston, I guess it was Houston Cougars, way back when in the NCAAs. And he said he did a speech when he was dying of cancer, and he said, if you think, if you laugh, and if you cry every day, you're going to have a great day. You think, you laugh, and you cry every day, you're going to have a great day. I mean, God, like I'm looking at I got a storyboard.
Gratitude. You have to have gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude. Right. You do. But if you think, laugh, and cry about it every day, and I am grateful for that because I'm looking at, I got right across from my desk here. I got this is what I helped when I wrote the book. I got this board and it's got like 50 stories on it, 60 stories on it, from being humbled to, learning about myself, to losing my hearing, losing money, becoming aware. So there's so many things here. I could, pick one or
Learning
two
how
out.
to swim.
The swimming story, that's a think, laugh, and crier. It is.
Oh, that is.
Yeah. I don't know how much time you got here, but it's
you might have to pick up the book for that. His book is Better Than You Think: Developing Awareness for More Fulfilling Life. And also The Network Effect. He wrote a chapter in it. And also, let's see, Balancing Real Estate, Speaking, Podcast, and Family. How do you recharge and stay present, Rob?
Coffee. No, anyway, no. It's center myself. I take moments during the day or in the morning and I get quiet. Just get quiet. And one of the affirmations I say frequently now is everything always works out for me.
Yes. Yeah. The universe always has my back.
Yeah.
And more showerism for you.
There you go. There you go.
And then Ken Walls is out there breaking through walls. That's how we met, Rob. And
yes.
Yeah. And Charlotte Frost and Patricia Geikich. And we have a whole team that we've now become like a little family.
Oh, yeah. Ken's been huge. I'm so grateful for all the connections he's made with all of us. He's been an integral part of that.
Yeah, it was so fun to see everyone in person in Dallas for the book launch. So your goal is to impact everyone you meet with their God-given potential. What's one way listeners can pay that forward?
Share your stories, man. Share your stories.
Write your book. Read the book. Do your podcast.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Be kind. Just hold the door open for the person behind you. Just say hello. You never know who just needs a hi or, $1.
Yeah, right.
So, Rob, what's next for you? What's next for Chiseled? What's next for Better Than You Think? New books, other ways that audiences can connect with you? Here is Rob's www.robcommodariauthor.com. You can reach him here. And here, talktorob.com.
There you go. Yeah, you reach out to me. It's look, I have this chisel project I haven't put into motion yet. I got a course curriculum, if you will, all set up that I want to help people build their story and share their story. And it worked for me. It can work for anybody.
And on his book, which you can also get on Audible, there is a workbook someplace that says you can. I missed it, but there's a workbook that you can use with the book. I think Eric's going to pop the book up for us.
Yeah, if people email me at the rob@robcommodariauthor.com, if you want to email me there, I'll send you a free digital copy of that workbook.
That would be good. And then in his podcast, in the Audible, you also say, stop it here, answer this question. And they are thinking questions.
Yeah.
Like like there's a few I'll have to go back to because I was like, why am I avoiding this one?
That was intentional. That was
Makes me
intentional.
think.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Any questions from the audiences? I don't see any questions in there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. As always, please share this out. Please like it. Please subscribe to the Cynthia Manion Show. If you're interested, you can go ahead and email me too and let me know what you'd like to talk about. And it's always a pleasure. You make my Wednesdays magical. Thank you to our producer, Eric Rodriguez, who keeps it going behind the show. But we have a picture of Rob with Ken and Glenn. Let's close with our Ken and Glenn picture. Da-da!
There you go.
Yeah, that was so much fun. So go out, meet these people. Go up and say hi. Call them like Tim did and say, hey, come be on my podcast. Because you got to expand your circle of influence. It's relationship capital. And get to know all the people out in the world because it's a wonderful world. Love you so much. You're amazing. Thank you for joining us. See you next time. Mwah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. You're fabulous.